Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. How are you all doing? Jeanette Biro here. I'm a medium and a channeler. And welcome to your weekday daily card reading where we dive into the cards, see what's in store with a message from Spirit. Monday, new week, new energy. How is your weekend? Please feel free to share in the comments. I love when we share our stories and energies and insights. And feel free to share. So this week I am using this really fun holographic tarot deck. I felt drawn to tarot this week, so we're going to see what spirit messages there are in tarot. And interesting, this one flips. So when I'm shuffling, if any ever flip up and get caught in the deck, I often kind of treat that as a jumper or like a little insight. So the first one is the Justice card. So this card speaks of balance. Things being set right, things coming into balance. So if you look in this card, the guy is holding the sword. He's holding a sword, which is kind of like cutting through the muck, laying down the law, bringing things to peace. The sword is not left for anyone. He's holding the sword. He's sitting down. He's holding it out of the battle. So something is completed. Something's being brought back into balance with you, which you can see in the scales of balance he has in his other hand. So this really speaks to, as our overarching theme with any kind of jumper-like card, this speaks to something finally is stopped. The chaos is stopped. Something in your world, okay, your life, your reality. This doesn't feel like it's collective. This feels individual. So it's an individual storyline to you where there's an opportunity now where scales are balancing or something has come back into balance. So that's the main theme. So I like that. That's a great way to start, and I'm so curious, in what ways are we going to see this balancing? So again, with a general message like this, please take what resonates. Feel within you for what pieces of the message resonate, what images in the card really stick out to you, and follow that. It may be the entire message, or it may be certain points, a certain word that really sticks out. Again, find the piece that resonates for you, and your body will tell you that. You'll feel it. So let's see what the other explanations are for this Justice card here. Okay. In my mind, it's interesting. I was shown a path to a clock tower. And when I looked at the clock tower, they said time's up. So again, time is up on something. And whatever shenanigans are happening on that pathway there, or delays or anything like that, time's up. And the clock strikes 12, which is like a renewal, like a turning point. That's the energy. This is cool. So what do we have? In which way are we seeing this? Ooh. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. One more wanted to come out. Okay, I get it. This is amazing. Okay. I'm going to just show you all the cards first because you need to see all of this, and then I'll break it down. So we have Nine of Pentacles, we have King of Wands, followed by Queen of Wands, okay, followed by King of Cups, and then followed by Ten of Wands. So you'll see why. So for many of you, this is a big collective message of partnerships. Now let me explain. So many of you sit in this energy, and we've had this card come up recently. Nine of Pentacles, whether male or female, whichever gender or non-gendered you identify as, this is you in the feminine principle. So we all have a masculine energy that runs through us, a feminine energy. It binds and entwines within. Some of us are more dominant masculine energy, whether we are embodied as a female or not, and vice versa. Now, this card specifically, this is like the Empress card, but of the minor arcana. And the Nine of Pentacles really represents your earthly life, your abundance, your wealth, your health. The Nine of Pentacles is someone within that feminine principle who has really acquired and learned who they are and what they're about. There's a stability in your life. There's a financial stability, or you're working towards that. You know what it is you need to do. You are a self-made person, meaning you hold accountability to yourself You have a confidence, you have a knowing of who you are, what your resonance is, you know your place in the world, even if it's within your own little world, and maybe you don't know where you stand in the community, but you know who you are. Now, because of this energy and all the work that you've done on this path, you've now hit the point where we see that clock tower like I was talking about, and we get to step into this energy of justice. We're balanced, like the scales are balancing. And the scales, the way in which they're balancing, and this is a heavy emphasis, so this may not resonate with everyone, but this is a high percentage. It's balancing in the form of partnership. Now, we have the King and Queen of Wands. Wands represents passion, purpose, soul journey, knowing who you are, your sense of self. Now, this relationship could very well be the binding of the masculine and feminine within yourself. You know your passions, your desires, your vulnerabilities, your emotional self and what it does and how you can express it. And you're not ashamed to express it, just like this Queen of Wands sits with her black cat. And the black cat in tarot used to be seen as a negative. So for the Queen to be sitting with her black cat in front of her means she's like, I don't care if I have a black cat here. I love this cat. This is who I am. Deal with it, kind of thing, right? She's sitting in her power. And the King of Wands, same sort of idea. He knows his power of what it took him to get there, to sit on this throne, to fight the battles he needed to fight, but to do so with courage and conviction and passion and purpose behind him. So the masculine and the feminine have really earned their position. So for those of you where this isn't an external relationship, this is the connection and the full fusing of the masculine and feminine connected to your passion, purpose, and power, okay? Now, for many of you, though, too, this is specific relationship. Now, this can go all the way to twin flame relationship because the wands, King, Queen of Wands, can represent twin flame. It can also represent soulmates. And the reason why I say this extra emphasis on relationship, now that, let me just say really quickly, that relationship can also be best friends, divine soulmates, divine partnerships in business that really help you take your passions to the forefront. It's a divine union, though. The reason why I say it's very much relationship based is because we also have the King of Cups. The King and Queen of Cups are the relationship cups. They are the relationship couple also. So this is amplifying and directing the way in which to read this. Now, for many of you, you have been working towards this. And maybe it's a deepening of a relationship you already have. Time is up now. You have the ability to deepen it. If there's been strife between the two, time is up on that strife, right? The shenanigans are over. The fighting, the conflict is over. And now it's time to unite because it's time to put the burdens down. And that's what this 10 of Wands is. Time to put the burdens down. The burdens, the 10 of Wands, this guy has had enough burden. He's over it. He's moving on. So he's going to drop those wands. And because this is wands here, 10 of Wands, into the King and Queen of Wands, this is releasing itself so that this partnership pairing can come together in the most beautiful way. And the whole reason why it was able to release is because you have done your work right here. You have done your work. Therefore, you've released the burden and you get to bring this beautiful partnership together. And so this is amazing because these are the scales that are balancing. These are the parts that are coming into fruition. I totally get why Spirit wanted tarot specific this week. This makes a lot of sense. So for those of you out there, notice which relationships are wanting to come back together, which ones are deepening in their connection right now. Notice if your dreams have been speaking of this. Notice the synchronistic alignments, divine timings, like synchronistic events that led you to meet this person at the perfect time for this or this or this. This is at play right now. And it's interesting because it was talked about in one of the podcasts recently. I think it was in April, but it was about soul contract alignments coming back on track. And so if you haven't watched or listened to that podcast, definitely go back. I think it was only in April. But it was about how we're stepping into a time now of soul contract alignments, divine pairings, divine partnerships starting to come back online. The time is now. And so these cards are literally saying, for many of you, the time is like literally right now, this week. So this is fabulous. I love this. This is huge progress forward. And it's because of the work that you've done. It wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been doing your work. So kudos to you. That's fantastic. So I'm very curious to see how the rest of the week unfolds. So I will leave that with all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Check out the podcast today. It's a really interesting one. Some insights of more stuff that's kind of coming to the forefront, more connected to deeper states of consciousness. So check that one out, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good week.